Hello everyone, I'm Reaper. Scythe or Save is about whether or not the reviewed game is worth your money. Scythe means don't bother and Save means get it. My verdict for this game is Save. If you want to know why, stick around while I review the game. Thanks to Red Art Games and everyone involved for giving me a key and early access. I appreciate the opportunity. For more info and other stuff, check the description. A quick intro about my experience. I am a newcomer to the series and at a beginner level in the genre. So this is not going to be the perspective of a pro. My best reference is Pokemon. That's what I played way back, so you will hear me refer to it a few times. With that said, let's get into the gameplay. The gameplay in Monster Crown Scythe is similar to older Pokemon games. Core gameplay is fighting and capturing monsters, packed, as the game calls it. You can have a team of up to 8 that you can level up via fighting or using ultra rare berries. There is a synchronization bar. When filled up, your monster can transform, kinda like evolving in Pokemon, but less permanent. It also changes some of the moves your monster can do. So, for example, let's say you have a 5% chance to, let's say, inflict plague. If it's a ground move you do, then it's going to be maybe 15%. So it changes the moves quite a bit. So that's a neat little feature. You can breed monsters to produce an egg that, when hatching, gives you a level 1 monster with boosted stats that will become stronger when leveling up. You can also fuse monsters, in the same way as breeding works, except fusion takes the average of the 2 monsters to produce a new monster without needing to start from level 1 again. You can adjust the genes between the 2 parent monsters to decide what stats would benefit the resulting monster you are breeding or fusing. However, it has a small but understandable catch. It's the balanced genes that determine the stat outcome. So within those 8 options, your choice must always be balanced between any 4 options for parent 1 and any other 4 for parent 2. There are 2 unbalanced options, type and pigment. Basically, what parent should your monster take to looking like, or maybe the color pigment of the parent, whichever you choose. It's up to you. So, keeping this system in mind, there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of possible outcomes to mess around with to create the team you want. In addition to leveling up your monsters, Asher, the character you play as, will also level up and eventually unlock tamer perks, such as finding more money, having eggs hatch 50% faster, being less noticeable to monsters roaming around. And yes, monsters roam around. You get to see exactly what you walk into and try to capture beforehand. However, if Asher is to fall in battle, the game is over. So remember to save quite often, unless you're playing on a really easy difficulty, because I believe the easiest difficulty story gives you the opportunity to just retry the battle. The world also opens up quite early in the game, and you are free to explore, and that comes with its own dangers. Whether on foot, riding a monster, or swimming in water. The story, keeping it short and as spoiler-free as possible. You play as Asher, a farm boy living with his family, his mother, brother Deus, and sister Ushas. He is on a path of revenge. It's a bit darker than Pokemon. You will see why. Now, getting to the look of the game. Scythe has a retro look. In a world filled with how realistic can we make this look, it's a nice change of pace for someone like me that remembers the older Pokemon games. The simplicity of it all really hits the nostalgia button. If you don't like retro games, whether it's the look or feel, that's 100% fine. For those that like it, you will feel right at home. But every home has its problems. This is nothing major or game breaking, just some quality of life improvements I think would be nice. So, getting to the problems, mounting and unmounting. How you go about doing this is you have to pause, enter a menu, select a monster, make party leader if it's not already, and then select ride. Simple enough. Getting off the monster is the same deal. So, this is where the problem kicks in. Monsters can be too big to enter certain areas. So going through all that just to realize shortly after that you have to unmount, pass a small area, mount again and continue gets a bit annoying eventually. Too close to water and you don't even get that option. You have to do all that just to see if you can ride the monster or not. And if you can't, you have to move away and look to see if it's possible again. My suggestion for a game update would be mapping that to a button like square on PS5 for example. Get close to the rideable monster, press square to mount or dismount, done. Easy as that. If the devs would make that a feature, great. One little quality of life improvement makes a huge difference. Kinda like the amount of different monster variations from breeding and fusing. Which brings me to another point. Not a problem at all, but worth noting. The sprites you see in the menus from fusing and breeding may not always be the same one displayed when your monster walks next to you. Again, that's a lot of work and resources to get a proper sprite for every possible monster out there that looks fitting when walking next to you. So it's understandable. It's just a little weird. It's not game breaking or anything like that. You get used to it, and it can sometimes be a little funny as well, so no harm done. The game still remains great fun. And yeah, that's it. Those are my biggest problems so far, and it's nothing really. Overall, there is a lot of fun that you can have, a lot of time that can be spent if this is your genre or type. I never expected to sink in as many hours as I did. I knew nothing about the series before I started playing this, and it was a welcome change to my library of games, and also a very, very nice surprise. That's why my verdict for this game is a save and not a scythe. And that is just the opinion from a newcomer to the series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support. I appreciate it. Have a good one, everyone. Stay safe. If all goes well, I will see you again next time.